Alright guys, so I got everything outside. That's pretty much everything that I'm ready to harden off. All these guys here are tomatoes. All the way down, except for the last 3 trays. Those are flowers, marigolds and zinnias. There's a lot of marigolds. Marigold, different kind. Peppers, cabbage, broccoli, tomatoes, lettuce. And these are some stragglers. When I up-potted some stuff, and what I had left over, so I'll up-pot them in a bigger pot. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Lick Branch Farms. Today I am hauling plants. As you can see, I got the golf cart loaded down. I'm hauling plants down here to the big garden, hoping that we're going to be able to get some stuff planted today. Now, yesterday I spent most of the day down here, tilling and incorporating some amendments in the soil and actually building the first 30-inch bed. Dug out the walkways. I got 9 inches on this side. We got 18 inches between this one and the next bed. These are going to be the permanent beds for this year. And I've got a big roll of weed fabric down here that we're going to be putting down. And I'm still, going over in my head plant spacing to try to maximize as much space as possible. Now, I don't want to get them too close because that means smaller heads. I don't want to get them too far apart, which will mean bigger heads, but in terms of less yield, I don't really want to space them out 2 feet like I normally do. I'm thinking we're going to go around 18 inches on these, and we're going to stagger them one side to the other. You've seen us do it before with garlic and strawberries and things of that nature. But yeah, when we first got down here yesterday, this plot was pretty wet. We got like an inch of rain a couple days ago, and the sun hasn't been out much, so it hasn't dried out a lot. And planting in wet soil is not necessarily a good thing. If you plant it in there when it's too wet and it gets packed for some reason, compacted, then the roots have a hard time getting through that soil once it dries out. So I'm walking down this row and it's still a little moist. The row that I pulled up looks good, but the ground is still pretty wet, you can see over here. And I don't know that we're gonna get anything done today or not. To be honest with you, we may get this first row in. I don't know that we're gonna get much else done. It is a little overcast today, but they're not calling for any rain at all today. We got just a trace of rain last night, and I could tell it wasn't much just by what I see here in the garden. But later on in the week, they're calling for rain for 2 days, 70 and 80% chance on Thursday and Friday. Today's Saturday. So in about 5 days, we're going to get a pretty good rain event. So I need to be thinking about how we're going to handle this. If I can get most of my broccoli and cabbage, you can see these guys here, all this is cabbage, that's broccoli, this is broccoli, and this is cabbage. So we got 3 different varieties of broccoli, which are Imperial, Marathon, and Green Magic. And we got 3 different varieties of cabbage, which are Capture, Typhoon, and Storage number 4. And we got some plants. You can see the voids in this tray here. I got some plants that I up-potted into 2.5-inch cups that I took to a vendor who wanted to see some of the stuff that we were offering here on the farm. And I had a pretty good presentation. Wanted to make sure that they were, kind of happy with the way we were presenting our plants, and he was. But yeah, we're gonna bring these. I gotta go get those out of the barn and bring them down there. We're gonna plant them too. And you can see on some of these leaves, like here. We had a real hard freeze about a week ago, 25, 26, 27 degrees. And these guys were outside hardening off. And I didn't bring them in that night. No, I did. I brought them in, but the next morning before I went to work, I put them back outside. And undoubtedly between 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around in there, they got bit hard. But it's not going to affect the plant. I mean, that leaf may die, but it's not going to stop it from growing. And we're going to put these in our garden, so I'm not really worried about it. So I'm going to offload all this stuff onto this pallet and leave it down here, and it'll probably stay here even if we don't plant today. They're hardening off. Those guys are ready to go. They've been ready to go. So we're going to leave those down here, and then I got to go back up to the barn and move everything else that we've got ready up here outside. I've been trying to harden off a lot of stuff because I got a whole lot of plants that's fixing to come off at one time. But So I want to touch on something that I might have mentioned earlier. I can't remember if I did or not, but you know, presentation of our plants and of our produce and vegetables is going to be a big selling point for us, I think. And I mentioned earlier about setting up some plants to carry for a guy to take a look at and you know, see what we were offering. Now these plants here have been we started these the 28th of January, so they're probably 6-7 weeks old. Plenty big enough to go in the garden for sure. But you know, we stepped them up from the 162 PropTex to this 2.5 inch cup, just, you know, to show them what we would be offering larger plants at. Now I did the cabbage the same way, but I went to a for sale tray, and just to give them an idea how, you know, if they order a 48 cell tray, how their plants will come. And these guys here are ready. Like I said, you got these this bit, got frost bit, but that was before the guy seen them, and these aren't going to be for sale. These are actually going in my garden, so I'm not worried about it. But going forward, you know, he knows now when he orders some 2.5 inch cups in a 32 cell tray, this is what he's going to receive. They may be a little bigger, they may be a little smaller, but it gives them a general idea. And I think for the people watching these videos, they get to see, you know, some of the care and some of the preparation that goes into, you know, putting these gardens in and putting the plants in the garden, how we start them, the care we take of moving them in, moving them out, making sure that they get watered. You know, appearance is a big thing for me, and you know, when I spend money, if I can see that someone took the time to do certain things, or they took the time to, you know, to put a little extra attention to detail on something, it goes a long way as a selling point for me with my money. And everybody tell you I'm funny with that. So I think going forward, you know, we can show a little more attention to detail in our videos about, you know, bed prep, things like this. You know, the care we take to get all of the rocks and sticks out of here. We make sure that the bed is got adequate moisture, and, you know, irrigation is a thing. So, you know, we're going to spend a lot of time as far as our videos are concerned with attention to detail and showing you things that we do on the, you know, a little extra that normally some people wouldn't do. We're not in the market farming for, I guess, quantity, if that makes sense. We're in it for quality. And I think once we get our customer base and they realize that, you know, we don't grow thousands of vegetables just to make a profit, that we grow a good amount of vegetables to make a profit, but we grow good vegetables. We grow things people's not going to be afraid to eat. They don't have to wonder what's in it. They don't have to worry about where it came from, if that makes sense. And I think that's a good selling point, and that'll go a long way with people understanding that, you know, Lick Branch Farms is in it for quality more than quantity. Because, you know, right now this is not my biggest, most of my income doesn't come from here. Quite natural, none of it does, to be honest with you. Everything that we make goes right back into it. But on down the road, when things progress like I hope they will, this will be a major source of income. But more than that, we want it to be somewhere people can come and say, you know, I'm looking for broccoli, I'm looking for broccoli plants. You know, what do you got? What can you offer me? We quite naturally grow 3 now. We will offer more in the future, but, you know, I can say, well, you know, get on the golf cart, come down here, let me show you what I got in the garden, and it kind of help you make your mind up. And when they see how I put my garden together, you know, we're going to have weed cloth, we're going to have wood chips in our walkways. You know, everything's going to be nice and neat. And everybody that knows me will tell you that I'm funny about stuff like that. Everything's going to be straight, it's going to be even, and they're going to be spaced out perfect. I don't know, I'm just funny like that. But that is a quirk that I've got, and I think it's a good one, because when people see gardens in neat appearance, they quite naturally know a lot of work went into it. So I think that'll be a good selling point for us. Me, I'm going to have a clean garden regardless. It doesn't matter if anybody sees it or not, but I just think that's going to go a long way with us. And you'll see me putting a little bit extra effort into making sure the appearance of our videos is top notch, because, you know, when people come buy produce from us, or they come buy plants, you know, I can tell them, say, hey, go check out these videos and you'll see, you know, what we put into making this happen. And I think that'll go a long way with us for in the future. So I'm looking at the moisture in the soil, and you guys see me do it in the past. Normally I can grab a clump and do this, and if it will come apart quite easily, then it's pretty much ready. Now there's a lot of moisture in that soil, and I'm not going to lie and say I'm kind of skeptical, but I think, and I planted worse than this in the past, but I think this will be okay for what we're going to do today. And I've already amended it. I've already put fertilizer in it, pre-plant fertilizer, and we're going to be using weed fabric, so I'm not so much worried about a lot of these weeds you see laying here. Now we're going to clean out what we can and make sure that, you know, it's actually going to lay down good and flat. What a weed cloth. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is focus on getting the next bed, and I don't know that I'm going to do that because the end of this bed is super wet. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll worry about getting one bed done today, and then once it dries out a little bit towards the middle of the week, or maybe even tomorrow, we can get some more done. I got some lettuce over here that we could probably get in the garden today. I'm not sure. I'm not going to use weed cloth on it though, simply because we transfer so much lettuce in and out. Well, let me give you a shot of this romaine. So I got this mini romaine that I started a couple weeks ago. What was it? 2/5. So February the 5th I started this, and this is a pretty rigid romaine lettuce. You can see I'm rubbing across it pretty hard, and it's coming right back. But yeah, these guys are ready to go. Let's see if I can pop one out. Yeah, good root ball on it, good root system, and they're ready. Let's see, get this one. Yeah, see, they pop right out of there, so they're ready to go. And beautiful lettuce. You see them green undertones? Get this one. Yeah, see, all these are ready to go in the ground, and they've been hardened off for a long time. I put these out not long after they got the first couple of leaves on them. I put them outside, and they've been on their own pretty much ever since. Got a couple in there, don't look so well, but I got plenty here, and I got some up in trays in the greenhouse to sell. I think you've seen it in that video, or earlier in the video whenever I was up there pulling everything out the greenhouse. Go through here with a tiller, and I don't know that I'm gonna get in here with that tiller today anyway, because it's pretty wet, pretty wet. And if you look at the strawberries, this is kind of the concept that I'm gonna use with cabbage. Over here, over here, over here, over here, back and forth, and maybe even the same plant spacing. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to do some thinking on that, but I'm gonna get this roll of weed fabric rolled out and go ahead and get a piece cut, so I can get it in the ground before the wind kicks up, because when the sun pops out, the wind's coming, I promise you. All right, guys, so we're getting close. I got most of the staples in. This is what I use for garden staple, and you can pick them up just about anywhere. If you can find them, get the ones that don't rust. They're either galvanized coated or stainless, and you'll be happier with those, because, you know, if you want to try and use them year after year, that's one thing, but most times you put them in the ground, you get ready to pull them out, they're just rusted to the point to where you just throw them away. But they do make them to where they don't rust. They're a little bit more expensive, but I mean, you can buy 100 of them for like 17 bucks. And that may seem expensive, but you know, when you don't have to buy them again, you're saving a little bit of money. But I got to get some more, because I got these spaced out like every 8 feet, 8 foot. And that's, you know, if the wind gets up on one piece of it, it's going to lift the whole thing. I've had it happen. But I got to run to town. I got to get goat feed after a while, and I'll pick up some more when I go to town and finish securing this. But like I said, there's going to be mulch down the sides of it anyway, but for the time being, these staples will hold it in place till we can get that mulch done. But it's going to take me getting that other 30-inch bed done before we can actually mulch the biggest part of it. But we can do this side here in the process, so we can actually keep the wind from getting under it. Predominantly the wind comes out of this direction, In the wintertime, he comes out of this direction, so I think we'll be okay, but you never know. Kind of give you guys an idea what it looks like once they get started. You see I got a tape laid down there. 1 foot, got 1 foot, center, 2 foot, center, 3 foot, center, and it'll hopscotch all the way down through here like that. And we should wind up with 25 on this side, and 25 on this side when we get done, so 50 plants in a row. And that's a pretty good spacing. Once they get the big outer leaves on them, it'll be tight, but there again, that'll help shade out those weeds from the center of that row. All right, so we got down through here on one side. You can see Jason got all the plants laid beside the hole all the way down one side of this row. That's 25 plants. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in the ground, get them planted, get them out of the wind, and then we'll start on this other side and go down through there and get those planted. So you ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, so we got that first row done. Everything's in. We got some rocks and put on it for right now to hold that weed mat down because that wind started blowing pretty good and I didn't want it to lift it up. But once we get the wood chips or whatever that we're going to use in place, then we won't have to worry about it so much. But yeah, looking good. Glad to have this part of it done. I'll wait a little while and see if we're going to get some rain. If not, I'll put a sprinkler over here to water these guys in. Still got a long way to go though, and see all this we got to get in. So we'll be working on the rest of these rows this weekend and probably first of next week. But hopefully in the next video, you guys, I'll have 3 or 4 of these done, and then I'll give you a shot of that, kind of update you on where we're at with that. But if you hadn't already, reach over here in this right hand corner and click that subscribe button and click the bell notification so you get notified every time I put out a video. As always guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.